Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Many of you already know that the $600 per week pay boost for those on unemployment expires this upcoming Friday, and most of the last payments have already gone out. So for up to 19 million Americans, the unemployment boost has already made its final payment. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain why ending or even reducing the $600 boost is stupid, why the $600 boost is not a disincentive to work, even though it seems like it could be. I'll explain that. And third, I'll break down exactly the spiral that we're in and why it's really bad for the market to see a reduction in the $600 boost. Speaking of breaking things down, if you are stuck at home and want a side hustle, have you ever considered making a YouTube channel? I've launched a pre-sale to an amazing program that'll step by step walk you through how to create a channel and how to gain a following by maximizing everything that I know about making quality content and providing value to your customers. Check out the link down below, use the coupon code, and you could start even just with a phone. All right, let's get into this. First, how many times have you heard lawmakers say, the $600 boost creates a disincentive to go to work, and that businesses are struggling to rehire people because of the $600 boost? Probably every day. Heck, you may have even heard something like, we just don't want people making more money at home than they do at work, so we're just gonna eliminate the boost. This has been said so frequently. In fact, the Federal Reserve even mentioned it in their FOMC meeting minutes. And I mean, it makes sense. If somebody works 40 hours per week at $10 per hour, that's $400. On unemployment, they're making $600 per week, right? Like, why bother going to work? That makes sense. But is that actually what's happening, or is that the wrong cause? Well, Economists just finished their research on exactly this. And when I say Economists, I mean The Economist, the magazine publication called The Economist. Anyway, they found a few very interesting things. Number one, if it were true that businesses were having trouble filling positions, then job vacancies should be high, right? Like you'd be able to find a job pretty easily, right? You'd think there'd be a lot available. But the truth is, the number of job vacancies right now is at the lowest point it has ever been in since 2014, with only 4.9 million openings. We have 19 million people on unemployment. That means if every single job that was available hired 3 people, you would still have 4 million people on unemployment. This is the first clear sign that it's not a problem of the $600 boost. The problem is businesses aren't hiring. The second issue, in many states, if you refuse to go back to work and you're called back, you lose your benefits anyway. So it makes sense for people to go back to work if you get called back to work, and you get the benefit of things like healthcare coverage and other benefits, especially if you're full-time. That's the second reason the $600 boost is not what's creating problems. And third, if businesses were really struggling to find workers, wouldn't we see wages skyrocketing? You know, think about it. If a business can't fill a position, they'll just raise the price that they're offering per hour until somebody comes and finally takes the job. Unfortunately, The Economist found that was also not true. But again, this makes sense because all we have to do is think about the bottom line. You have 4.9 million jobs available and you got 19 million people on unemployment. There are way too few jobs for all the people who are on unemployment. On top of this, Axios reported that the number of people that are applying under emergency unemployment insurance claim programs, which allow you to apply for unemployment pay even when your state benefits have already expired, or allow you to apply if your hours have been cut and you're partially unemployed, well, those numbers are skyrocketing. They're not trending down, they're actually trending up. That's a signal that more people are staying on unemployment longer and more people are having their hours cut. This is all bad news. And so right now, the biggest reason we have high unemployment isn't because there's a $600 boost that's creating a disincentive, which is basically like calling people lazy, like, why don't you go back to work? That's a really easy and simple argument to make, but when you look at the actual data, it's completely not true. It's actually very simple. Businesses aren't hiring as much, and they're cutting jobs. In fact, the University of Chicago conducted a study asking researchers, why is unemployment high? Is it A, because firms lack interest in hiring? Or is it B, people's unwillingness to work? Maybe because they're getting a boost, maybe they don't want to go to work. Which is it? A, people don't want to, firms don't want to hire people? Or B, people don't want to go back to work? And 100% of the researchers said that the answer was A, firms aren't hiring. There's no issue with people wanting to work. Firms just aren't hiring. And I mean, this makes sense. We're in a recession. We're in a pandemic-induced recession, and business has slowed. But why then does Congress get the impression that businesses can't hire people? Well, remember earlier I said that the Fed mentioned something like, the Fed said that, there might be a disincentive to go to work. Well, I actually found exactly what they were referring to. And it is on this page right here, which is page 10 of the FOMC meeting notes. And the date of this document is June 9th to June 10th. So let's go back here to page 10. And here we go. Right here at the bottom, we'll see some participants also noted that firms are reporting or stating that they have had some challenges in rehiring employees, in part related to the temporary enhanced unemployment insurance benefits. So in English, some random businesses said, well, we're having trouble getting people back because their unemployment benefits, and the unemployment benefits are so high right now. But wait a minute, if that's true, then why are so many people still unemployed? And why are job postings so few and far between? And why aren't wages going up? Well, maybe there's a different reason. Maybe there's a more dark reason why businesses would say, oh, yep, we're having trouble hiring people. Well, there happens to be this thing called the Paycheck Protection Program that gives businesses free bailout money. The PPP says that in order to get free bailout money, the business has to hire people that they laid off. But if, businesses happen to complain and point the finger at unemployment saying, all my workers are on unemployment. They don't want to come back. I can't rehire people. How am I supposed to rehire people as a business? And all of a sudden, businesses complain to the Fed and to Congress and to the White House with the meeting the White House had with restaurateurs. Well, guess what happened? Congress passed a Phase 3.5 stimulus bill that reduced or eliminated the requirements that businesses actually rehire people back in order to still qualify for bailout money. In other words, businesses now are able to still get free bailout money even if they don't rehire people, even though at first they blamed unemployment. So let me put this ridiculousness into a clearer picture. All right, in fact, I got it right here. All right, here it is. It's a nice little spiral, okay? People save money because we're in a pandemic, and businesses lay people off. When people save money, well, then there's less demand and businesses lay people off, right? Businesses don't want to rehire people, but they still want the bailout money. So businesses complain, oh, well, we can't hire people back. Can we still have the bailout money? And of course, Congress says, sure, we'll still give you the bailout money. We don't mind helping businesses. The people, on the other hand, they just always get screwed. So businesses get to stay lean, but guess what else happens? Well, businesses then officially stop rehiring because now they definitely don't have to rehire. There's no reason to. So businesses still get the bailout. Then Congress goes, well, $600 seems high and that kind of seems expensive. Let's cut that. And what's that going to cause? Well, if you cut unemployment, then all you're going to do is create 19 million people who can now not at all afford to pay rent anymore. So they cut even more spending, which more spending cuts leads again to more layoffs and no hiring again. And then businesses get bailed out again, the people don't, and the cycle continues. This is all a really bad cycle and a perfect setup for a really bad market crash. Now, what are the two solutions? Because you can't stay in that cycle forever. I mean, you can't bail people out on unemployment forever, and you can't bail businesses out forever, right? Well, there are two solutions. Number one is cure the virus. And Congress can't wave a magic wand and cure the virus. So the second thing, or the second option, is help people, boost spending. Because when you boost spending, you actually reverse the cycle. If this said more spending, so we said people spend money instead of less spending, then you would have less layoffs or no layoffs. In fact, you would have hiring, and then businesses wouldn't need bailouts, and then you wouldn't need as much unemployment insurance. That's the cycle you want to be on, not the other one. But instead, Congress is waving around this like argument that just comes out of people talking about it or suggesting it without looking at the data, saying, well, I mean, if somebody making $10 an hour makes more money on unemployment, well, that's just wrong. We just gotta cut this. Okay, but all you're doing is pulling the rug out from under 19 million people's ability to pay rent. Because the bottom line is, this isn't an issue of 19 million lazy Americans who don't want to go back to work. This is 19 million Americans who can't go back even if they wanted to, and even if they did go back to work, they probably wouldn't get as many hours as they had in the first place, so they still can't pay rent, and when they can't pay rent, they have to make the choice. Do I pay rent or do I buy food? Well, usually people try to pay their rent first so they don't get kicked out, but either way, they're making a choice. And if they pay food, then they don't pay rent, and then the landlord gets screwed, and then the landlord can spend less. Removing or reducing this unemployment boost is a curse, and it's a joke, at least until the economy gets back to a strong and stable footing, which we won't get to a strong and stable footing until we get the virus under control. So, in my opinion, and based on all of this research from The Economist, from Axios, and from other data that we were able to collect, it's official. Congress, you stupid. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please consider subscribing if you like these kind of videos and this perspective. Check out that course on YouTube. Get 2 completely free stocks. If you want 2 totally free stocks, deposit $100 with Webull, link down below. You get 2 free stocks, and there's even a link for life insurance. So if you want to sign up for life insurance in as little as 5 minutes, you can do so via the amazing link down below. Super inexpensive. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.